together and become one.
It really depends on the makeup of your team. How many new guys are on the roster? The style of play. Do the new additions have any previous chemistry with some of your players?
And now the opening lineup for Boston. The wing pairing, it's White and Brown. Then it's Peyton Pritchard. And it's Minot in at the power forward. And so it's Boston with it after the miss from Joel Embiid. And it's White missing. Now we'll hear from Allie LaForce, and she's got a story for us. An update. Allie?
I was able to catch up with Nick Nurse. Right away, we got to talking about Jaylen Brown, and he said he's going to make trouble for us, but with strong coverage and fast rotations, I think we'll do a good job limiting his production. Some confident words from Coach on how they'll slow down Brown's output tonight. Back to you, Kevin.
Terrific, Allie. We appreciate the report. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Embiid, no good.
They haven't been able to find their rhythm. That's 3 straight misses now.
Out to the right wing. Brown outside. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. They faced off right here last time they met, but the home club just couldn't pull out the win.
And turnovers were the story for them when they saw each other last. I mean, just a heartbreaking way to lose the game.
Greg, we know something every scout liked about PJ Edgecombe was his raw physical ability.
Yeah, many felt he was already NBA ready in terms of his physique. He's fast, he's strong, and he can just leap out of the gym. No waiting for him to fill out. This guy is ready to go.
Here's Pritchard, and he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
And his competitiveness showing through. That's an aggressive finish.
Yeah, and getting out in transition allows for some easy points before that defense is fully set.
Now here's Embiid. His last outing with 20 points. It's deflected.
Yeah, trying to get going here, but that's an offer for the first 5 here to start the game.
White finds Brown. They set the pick over George. Brown, no good.
Yeah, you expect him to make those. Good luck. Just couldn't find the mark.
Good work there as it goes.
And the speed of George on the drive. Amazing at attacking the rim.
Pass to Cato. Brown outside. Here's Pritchard. Jacks up a 3. It's hauled in by George.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession. And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
There's no air space there whatsoever. That's as close as you can get without foul.
Nailed from three-point land.
We've seen an uptick in volume from White at the arc. He's more confident than ever from that range.
Back to Maxey. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
Matching baskets from the perimeter, an earmark of today's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Now here's White. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Philadelphia.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. And so it's Maxey with it. He brings it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. Trailing here by 8. And timeout called by Nick Nurse. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. Quentin Grimes is checked in for Edgecombe. Sam Hauser's checked in for the Celtics.
Way to go, everyone. Let's hear it for you. Substitution on the court.
Maxey passes to Embiid, and Embiid throws it down.
And seeing a guy as big as Embiid being so fluid in terms of his movement, jaw-dropping.
And some young promise in the backcourt for Philadelphia.
Maxey already an all-star. Jared McCain looks to continue his promising start. And Quentin Grimes a revelation last season. And let's not forget, number 3 pick B.J. Edgecombe. They are loaded at guard.
And here are the 76ers now after the basket by Boston. And here they come. Here's Brown. And he drops in the layup off the glass. 8 points for Jaylen Brown.
Boy, that was quick. Already out to a double-digit lead.
Yeah, incredible play on both ends of the floor. There may be too big of a gap here.
And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
Crafty at cashing in from there. Oubre Jr. enjoys working on his interior game when given the opportunity.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for Boston?
Well, the coaching staff's game plan is very clear. Move the ball on the perimeter and shoot the shots with no hesitation.
On top of that, they're creating turnovers and taking advantage by converting on the offensive end.
Now, here's Brown. Coming off a stellar performance against Philadelphia. Just 4 to shoot. Count it. White's got 5 points so far.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Lowry against Pritchard. Now, here's Lowry. He's covered closely. Launches it. Rebound, Boston.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Right now, let's take a second to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Thanks a lot, guys. Derek White is an impact player, but is he a star in this league? White said, "I'm not into labels. I just know whatever the team needs, I'm ready to do it." And what does this team want from him? He said, "Be aggressive, don't defer." And hearing that from great players, it just gives you confidence. Kevin?
Truly an impact player. Thank you, Allie.
And that's a smart read by the veteran Lowry. He's so good at seeing the floor.
Pass to Pritchard. Brown outside. Good D by Drummond.
Well, that's the look he wanted, but the defense doing just enough to impact that shot.
Grimes passes to Oubre. Back to Grimes. Drummond with a screen on Brown. Grimes. And Drummond throws it down.
That's why you never quit battling on the offensive glass.
And that's a nice reward for his effort. The flush. Perfect.
Well, that's what he does. He makes an impact with his activity on the boards.
Jaylen Brown has been leading the charge for the Boston Celtics. What didn't he do in that quarter? A fantastic all-around effort. We come back right after this. And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And what do you guys think about Boston here in this one?
Hey, why take jump shots when you can get your points at the rim?
Yeah, they've made a point to get inside on this defense, and it's been working like a charm early on.
We've got Maxey. Gordon out there with Trendon Watford. Then there's Quentin Grimes. And it's Bona in at the 5. That's the group for Philadelphia to start the second quarter. And the call will be against Anthony Simons. That's his first foul.
First team foul.
Pass to Grimes. Just 5 on the clock. It's good. He scores. That's his first basket after missing his first 2 attempts. Now 1 for 3.
How about the burst in that first step, just right to the rim?
Back to Simons. This 1 for 3. And again, Boston with the triple.
They've been outstanding from beyond the arc this quarter. Their percentage has been climbing steadily.
And Anthony Simons cut his teeth under Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, Stan. Some pretty good manners.
You aren't kidding, Kevin. And I think going up against those guys in practice every day, watching them every night, and being another guard who has to score the ball, he couldn't have learned from anybody better. And Anthony Simons now a tough guy to stop.
And that's tough to guard against. Maxey is just so quick off the ground with that pull-up.
To the wing right side. Now, here's Simons. We saw him with 19 points his last out. And the slam dunk by Simons.
And that's a special play coming from the one spot.
You know, his passing can take a backseat for that dunk. Wow.
Wow, that is an impressive vertical for a point guard. My goodness.
And timeout called by Nick Nurse. He's going to have a discussion on the sideline. Embiid, he's checked in for the 76ers. Brown is checked in for Boston. Pritchard comes in for Anthony Simons. Here's Grimes. He's coming off a 16-point game against Boston. Maxey finds Watford. And Boucher sends it back.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
And here's Brown outside, and Philadelphia grabs the miss. They'll be off to Brooklyn for a meeting with the Nets after this one. That one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team. Grimes with it. He's picked up by White. There's the 3. Sinks the triple. Grimes has got 5 points so far.
Well, when you have a scorer as skilled as he is, you do everything you can to get him the looks he needs.
Pritchard passes to White. Pritchard feeling it out a bit. The Celtics working the ball around now. Cash money, Brown with the tray.
He's already got 9 points from three-point range. They need to pay attention to him wherever he is.
Outside, Maxey. No good from outside.
I can't believe he missed that 3. Regardless, that's not a shot the defense should be giving him.
Brown against Gordon. Left block shot on the way. Strong finish through the contact from Brown.
And over time, we've seen Brown ease into accepting more responsibility on offense. He's now a dangerous scorer.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket guy still shaking. Now, here's Brown. 13 points in the game. He gets it in there. And guys, hold on now. I'm getting word we have Shams Charania calling in. Shams, what do you have for us?
Thanks. Well, this new three-point era started with Stephen Curry, and it's really in the last decade that we're seeing the long-distance game extend to the center position. You look at the list of recent champions, it seems it's also not a luxury, but a necessity to have a paint presence who can also stretch the floor from deep.
Yeah, certainly a nightmare to contain. All right, Shams, we appreciate the report. Brown the pass to Hauser. Rebound by the 76ers. To the paint. Out of bounds, Boston takes possession. And here we can check out the story for Jaylen Brown. And so the timeout by Joe Mazzulla here. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. Changes for Philadelphia. George is checked in for Trendon Watford. Oubre comes in for Eric Gordon. And it's Edgecombe in for Maxey. Brown with it. He's got 15. Pass to Cato. Back to Brown. Boston again missing. The 76ers trail by 5. Hey, Stan, how about the Boston Celtics? Back-to-back 60-win seasons.
Well, Kevin, winning 50 is a great season. 60 wins is simply incredible. We have lots of regular seasons where no team wins 60. Credit Joe Mazzulla, his staff, and players for keeping this thing rolling.
So it's Boston now. Philadelphia able to drain the 3. Simons kicks to Brown. Pass to Minot. Back to Brown. Here's the screen. Drills the three-pointer. Brown's got 18 points in the game.
Well, he's just dominating right now. If his teammates are smart, they'll keep getting him the ball.
Edgecombe, no good. Celtics leading by 5. Pass to Minot. The kick out to Brown. No good with the triple. Philadelphia's gone 6 of 12 from outside. A very nice 50% mark, shooting the 3-ball well. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And Brown doesn't mind getting roughed up on the way up. In fact, he embraces it.
Good on both. Here's Edgecombe. 17 points for him last game against Boston.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the scoring. He had a bunch of assists, too, affecting the offense in so many ways.
Definitely got to use the clock here and get the last shot.
Yeah, but if you get an open look, you got to think about taking it no matter how much time is left on the clock.
Back to Pritchard. Boston again missing. Jaylen Brown has been leading the charge for the Celtics. He ends up dropping in 2 from distance, making a difference from long range in this one. We'll return shortly.
Checking out the Celtics, they're facing a team with similar aspirations. Good measuring stick game for them.
Yeah, like two dogs, they both want that.
And looking back on that first half, it certainly hasn't gone as planned for the Philadelphia 76ers. Thanks for joining us. Now let's toss it to Kevin Harlan for the start of the second half.
We've got second half action for you, and if the next couple quarters are similar to the first, this one could go down to the last possession. It's been a clinic out there by Jaylen Brown.
And the bulk of his damage so far has come from the perimeter. A lot of threes early on.
And defensively, they're giving him too many good looks out there. They need to start running him off the line.
On the court for the Celtics, Pritchard and White are their guards. Then there's Jaylen Brown. And it's Queta in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Putting that pass right in his stride. Didn't have to slow up and was able to complete the play.
Pass to Edgecombe. And it's George finishing it off.
And he may be in his 30s, but Paul George still has got a lot of bounce.
And here's White. He'll bring it up for the Celtics. Takes it off the glass. White's got 10 points.
And that solid play in the paint continues here, guys.
I know some would classify Derek White as underrated. Dan, what's your read on him?
Well, Kevin, I would say he was underrated for a long time, but now I think we've all gotten smarter, and we all realize Derek White is one of the best guards in this league, period. I don't think he's underrated anymore, and I just think it took us a long time to catch up with how good he is.
We're now joined by our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
Well, the Sixers are trying to pull it all together. Joel Embiid said, we still can compete for a championship, but this is going to take time. We have a lot of talent, but we still have to go out and actually do it. It's just hard. We've got a pretty good chance to accomplish something. Back to you, Kevin.
It's all about health. All right, Allie, we thank you very much. Now, here's Maxey. 6 points for him. Off target with his 3. On the wing, Brown. Defended by George. Now here's White. He's guarded closely. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tyrese Maxey. That is his first foul of the game. There's the pick. Teardrop shot. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Brown.
Well, it shows you how crucial communication is. They clearly weren't on the same page there.
The 76ers trail by 4. Now Maxey. Pass to Edgecombe. Now here is George. And the 3 off target.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Brown, no good. Philadelphia's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. Now at the break on the floor, you can see the teams that led the NBA in steals last year. Fifth on the list, the 76ers.
You could tell by watching them how much they enjoyed playing defense. They seem to have an endless reserve of energy flying around and pressuring the basketball.
And Edgecombe gets it to go. And so the timeout by Joe Mazzulla here. He's going to take a minute here to get things straightened out.
All right, a chance to look at the stats for George. A very nice season for him last year. Put up about 16 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And most of all, you have to love the defensive grit he brings to games when he comes off the bench.
Yeah, I loved having options like him off the bench. Guys who bring effort. They can change the attitude of a team.
Here's Embiid following the basket by Jaylen Brown.
And this is the beauty of Embiid's game. He has a shot from anywhere on the floor.
And you think about the style of Sixers head coach Nick Nurse. Greg, what stands out to you?
He just has a willingness to experiment and adapt. That's a real asset with some of the challenges this roster has faced. And a big part of why this front office brought him in.
Well, it's a three-point shooting league. Guys like him are so important for spacing.
Three-pointer by Embiid, and it's White with the rebound.
Definitely a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look.
And he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
Well, you love assisted hoops. That's good offense.
Here's Maxey. Rebound Boston. Kata's got his 4th rebound in this one.
Hey, he hasn't been at his best this quarter. I'd like to see him be a little more patient right now.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark. And the 76ers with some changes. Trendon Watford's checked in for Oubre. Gordon comes in for George. And it's Quentin Grimes in for Edgecombe. And timeout called by Nick Nurse. Looking for a breather and maybe adjusting a thing or two. Here's Grimes. Whistle blows. Bucket is good. And he'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, you love to see a quick bucket off the inbound. Well done.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Celtics.
Well, they've really been sharing the basketball. All coaches talk about that, try to get their teams to do it. Really great when you see it in action.
And another area they've separated themselves has been their three-point shooting, making the defense pay for any airspace.
There's Boucher. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And the Celtics lead by 8.
Yeah, that was the 3rd straight high-percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
He is really scuffling this quarter offensively. Perhaps a little frustration setting in.
The kick out to Brown. Buries the long-range jumper. And it's an 11-point Celtic lead.
Hey, whatever adjustments they made at halftime, they are working to perfection.
Well, sometimes you just make shots, but they've certainly come out on a tear here in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, Maxey can burn you even when the defender is right there.
Pritchard passes to Hauser. Maxey against Pritchard. Misses the 3.
Well, clearly it hasn't been his best game offensively, but collectively, they've still found a way to get the lead.
Lets the 3 fly. Gordon dishes to Embiid. Shoots over Hauser. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut to just 7 on the basket from Embiid.
Domination, plain and simple. Embiid isn't holding back and is giving the defense all he's got.
Here's Hauser. Scoreless thus far.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Watford finds Maxey. Boston grabs the miss. Boucher's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
Well, you win and lose as a team, so the fact that they're trailing isn't all on him. But with that said, he's had a rough shooting.
And in terms of size, not your typical center, but man, he plays as big as any of them thanks to that terrific leaping ability.
And here's Embiid, 13 points in the game. And Grimes has it in the corner. From outside, off the mark. And so it's Boston, enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. What a night they've had in terms of their shooting. Everything dropping in for them. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. While we have the chance now, folks, let's go to our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, he puts that pass right on the money and made things look easy for his teammate.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. Watford out there with Gordon. Then there's Quentin Grimes. Then there's Tyrese Maxey. And it's Bona in at the 5 down low. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Back to Simons. Puts up a 3. Second chance shot. It's tipped. Here's Grimes. Out of bounds, Boston takes possession.
Now that's an unforced error. If you want to drive your coach crazy, that's the way to do it.
Celtics leading by 9. White up top. The kick out to Simons. And another miss by Boston. 76ers shooting it pretty well, close to 50%. Grimes with the bucket.
Well, the first thought from the D there was to protect the rim, so good idea to take the 3 in transition.
Outside, White. Boucher the screen. And Simons, here we go. Good on the bucket. And the Celtics lead by 8.
Well, you see the development of Simons, reading the game better.
Watford passes to Maxey. Pass to Bona. Back to Maxey. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it go with a 3. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the results.
And we've got a timeout from Joe Mazzulla. And clearly an important juncture. He's going to have some choice words with his team. Embiid, he's checked in for the 76ers. Edwards comes in for Eric Gordon. Boston also with the sub. Brown's checked in. Now let's take a minute to talk to Allie LaForce courtside. Allie.
Over the break, I listened in on Joe Mazzulla's huddle. Well, coach is thrilled with their 3-point shooting, saying in the huddle, guys, let's keep it up. Continue to shoot it from deep. It's working. They've been on fire from distance so far.
And as always, Allie, great job. Thank you. White, the shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got 6 assists now in the game.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Maxey passes to Embiid. The tray. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
And he's just living out beyond the arc right now. What a weapon to have on the floor.
Well, he's firing away with confidence from downtown. The defense better adjust to this, and fast.
Now here's White. Simons surveying the D. The 3. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Here's Grimes. Another 3 for Philadelphia.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Simons against Maxey. Now here's White. Back to Boucher. Lets it go from deep. And it's Grimes with the rebound. Here's Philadelphia. They're on a 15-4 run right now. And Embiid throws it down.
This is the kind of selfless leader Maxey is. He knows how important it is to share the ball.
And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for Boston. It's a one-point game. Tillman passes to Brown. And then Brown with the dunk.
Well, we all know this about Jaylen Brown. He will work incredibly hard to get the big bucket.
76ers have gotten absolutely red hot shooting the ball here in the fourth. A perfect 6 for 6. And we will have a timeout called by Nick Nurse. Clearly, he's got something his players need to hear, and immediately. And some changes here for the 76ers. Oubre's checked in for Trendon Watford. Paul George comes in for Edwards. And it's Edgecombe in for Quentin Grimes. So it's Philadelphia now. So far in the fourth quarter, they've allowed just 6 points. Pass to Edgecombe. Here's Maxey. And stolen by White. Now Pritchard. White outside. Knocks down the three.
He's been in a big spot or two. Get it to NBA champ Derek White.
Maxey with it. Here's Edgecombe. White covering. 5 to shoot. A 17-footer. And it misses. Celtics leading by 4. Brown inside. He's against Oubre. Beyond the arc. Down he goes for 3.
If you came to watch a scoring battle, you're in the right place.
Yeah, and how great have these offenses been for these teams tonight? Just fantastic execution.
And in the big moment, Embiid is your guy. He's always ready to go on the attack.
Well, they needed those. He stayed calm and got it done.
And so it's Pritchard with it. He'll bring it up for the Celtics. George against Brown. Another chance, and he got it. Nice execution on the way up.
And if I'm his coach, I'm very pleased with this kind of energy on the offensive glass. Textbook play, showing great vision and delivering the pass out in front.
Here's Pritchard. We've got 1:23 left to play here in the fourth. White outside. 6 to shoot. Now Brown jacks up a 3. Embiid with the rebound. George knocks down the 3.
And there was a time when folks said George wasn't a clutch shooter. Remember? Not anymore, people.
Now here's Brown. Here's Pritchard. Brown outside. Sweet touch inside from Brown.
That is world class.
Yeah, and I can say from experience, his coach just breathed a huge sigh of relief.
And we will have a timeout called by Nick Nurse. Coach clearly feeling the necessity to regroup with so much at stake here. It's good.
Well, we talk about ice in his veins a lot, but this guy personifies that. What a clutch shot.
Here's Pritchard. 30 seconds left in the fourth. Brown against George. From 14, Embiid with the rebound. And it's Nick Nurse calling timeout here. The magnitude at this juncture in the game clearly warranting a timeout. Attack, it's in.
Yeah, he's in such a great rhythm right now. Makes sense to get him the ball any way you can.
Yeah, when you have a guy playing like he has been recently, He's got to be the first option on every possession.
And so Joe Mazzulla calls for the timeout. And he knows there's no room for mistakes and wants everyone on the same page. What do you think we're going to see here?
And they actually could take a 3 here and go for the win if they want to. I think they'll try and send it to overtime. The defenders don't want to foul in this situation.